Coming up, a harsh assessment of Alabama, a big-name coach addresses some Florida rumors, and we'll have a major preview of the upcoming rivalry weekend. It's all on the way next on SEC Country Live. Hello, everybody. Let me try that one more time. Hello, everybody. Welcome to SEC Country Live. My name is Brandon Adams. I am happy to have you with us. We're going to do a lot today. In fact, we're going to do so much stuff on today's show, and this thought just occurred to me a moment ago. We actually have coaching rumors involving two different members of the Stoops family. That's how deeply the gamut's going to run today, involving everything here on SEC Country Live. We'll cover all that over the course of our time together. Also, special guest on today's program, really a couple of special guests in today's program. One of them being Pat Dooley, longtime guy covering the Florida Gators for the Gainesville Sun for a long time. Now the host of a terrific Florida-themed podcast. We'll ask him about the latest right there on the ground in Gainesville. But the next coach for the Florida Gators, that is coming up here in just a little bit. Before that, though, let's go above the fold with the big story around the SEC here right now. And as we head towards rivalry weekend, obviously the Iron Bowl, one of the games that takes center stage with all of that, and an Alabama team entering into the game on the Plains on Saturday with a lower college football playoff ranking than it had this time last week. Alabama drops from number 2 down to number 3. Ohio State moves into the spot that the Crimson Tide once occupied, and Playoff Selection Committee Chairman Gary Barta, speaking on ESPN on Tuesday, explained the difference here, obviously praising Ohio State for what it did against Michigan State, and seemingly with good reason. That was clearly a strong performance by the Buckeyes, but also pointing out one thing that the committee is not seeing from Alabama. And Alabama coach Nick Saban does not like hearing this. This is what Gary Barta said about the Crimson Tide this week.
Well, two great teams, both Ohio State and Alabama. Both of them have Heisman Trophy candidates at quarterback. And this past week, though, the dominating win over Michigan State certainly got the committee's attention. The offense of Ohio State just total domination, and defense playing much better. And they've been playing better week after week. They now they beat Penn State, they beat Purdue. Alabama's still a great football team. Have a wonderful win against Ole Miss. The last few weeks just not showing as much domination on defense. So two great teams, but when the vote came down, Ohio State came ahead of Alabama.
Interesting to hear Barta say that so clearly, that right now they're not seeing what they call domination from Alabama on defense. And who could dispute that? It certainly seems like that at one point in time, Alabama coach Nick Saban made a little bit of a deal with the devil, that he was willing to trade in all the things that made him famous, the physicality, the defensive side of the football, the ability to run the football, that he was willing to make all those trades and all those moves, and as a trade-off for that, he got explosive on offense. He embraced, and Saban's been very proud of himself for doing this, he embraced the modern age of college football that we live in right now, but along the way towards doing that, seemed to lose some of the physicality that once made Alabama football famous. That just seems to be where all of this stands right now, that this is an Alabama team that by all means still a playoff contender, an Alabama team that is still very much a part of the college football playoff conversation, but one that is a far cry different from what Saban certainly enjoyed about college football when he first came up here. And it's not just guys like Gary Barta, the Playoff Selection Committee chairman, who were saying these kinds of things. This week on an ESPN college football podcast, Kirk Herbstreit kind of said the same thing as well right now, that when you look at Alabama on the defensive side of the football, despite the fact that Bryce Young's having a great year, despite the fact that Alabama's scoring a lot of points, this is just a team showing a great deal of vulnerability right now on defense. Once again, words that you got to assume Nick Saban just does not like hearing, but once again, Herbstreit making a similar point to what the Playoff Selection Committee chairman Gary Barta had made a little earlier. This is Kirk Herbstreit.
Be a concern. Communication, the back